Alright, today we're going to do chicken drumsticks, beef short ribs, and these are boneless, asparagus, mushrooms, some onions, and something with lettuce. We'll figure that out later. So we're going to start prepping the vegetables here. Get the onion all peeled up. We're going to do some onion steaks, if you will. And we're going to skewer some mushrooms and then just kind of clean up the asparagus and grill that bad boy. Just do like half of it. One more? Good measure? Oh, fail. You want to cook that. Use that for something else, of course. And?
How much do you cut off the ends of those?
When they're really thick like this, I like to cut off a lot because it just, down here, it just gets real hard and bitter.
Yeah.
So, nice and flat, just cut off a good chunk. These are pre-washed. We washed them before we came out.
Let's see how the ends of those are now nice and crisp. Not tough and, well, what would be chewy like before. So we get a nice crunch to them too.
Now we're going to skewer up some mushrooms here and onion.
Do we want to have these?
The mushrooms?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd do the whole thing because otherwise they fall apart. Yeah. Okay. I like to do the mushrooms whole. They just tend not to break or fall off the stick. Do a couple onions there. Try to get a good view.
I don't want to space these out so they don't get too stuck together there. Get a good ratio per skewer. Just depends how much you like onions. I like quite a bit of onions. Well, these are all pretty big. Fine by me though.
We'll just go ahead and do that for the rest of them and get them on the grill. Last one here. Just grab the knife just to, show off. Yeah.
What a guy.
The beef short ribs here. We're going to get these all seasoned up. Chicken.
That's looking pretty terrible for onions.
Look at the distribution. That's perfect. Professional quality right there.
You can tell because this one is way more than this.
Now, if I were doing it, I think I would probably do 2 or 3 pieces, probably 2 pieces per section, or at least spread them out a little bit. But if you like that little bit of crunch, this is good. I'm not going to complain.
Now, when we get to this point with the chicken here, we're going to brush them in this Thai peanut sauce. It's gluten-free, if you're worried about that, and typically not, but it's kind of like a sweet and spicy all in one, and it just gives it a really nice nutty flavor, which tends to go quite well with poultry. We're also going to try and experiment a little bit and brush a little bit of that here on our onion steaks and see how they turn out.
Go ahead and get the asparagus on. I know you guys are probably sick of us using asparagus, but
Is it good?
It's good, and we just haven't run out yet, so. Using charcoal here.
That's preferred cooking method, I think.
So I treat the asparagus kind of like a steak at first. Just char it, and then flip it, and then remove. We're going to go ahead and spray these up, get a little seasoning on them. Going to use some steakhouse seasoning, perfect for steaks, asparagus, whatever. All right.
It wouldn't be complete without the...
Oh, professional. Okay, so we got about 2.5 minutes on this side. We're just going to flip them and roll them. That's the easiest way to do it. There we go. Char this up, then we'll move them to the top and get our mushrooms going.
Alright, get some of the Sanjay Thai peanut. Like I said earlier, it was gluten-free, so we're just going to pour some of that in there, ready for the brushing. It doesn't matter if you use too much, because you can never use too much. You can just go with a nice, generous coat.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and put the chicken on. Just go ahead and move this asparagus up top. Off to the side.
Look at that beautiful charring.
Oh yeah. Doesn't want to stay on there, of course.
Well, why would it?
You know, when the spatula fails, just go old school, I say. Unless you're afraid of germs. So. Let's get the chicken on here. A little sizzle here. I'm going to put some steakhouse seasoning, mostly just for the sodium. It helps the cooking process, and it sinks. When it's cooking, it sinks into the meat a little bit. It's probably better to marinate your chicken, or even just to dry rub with salt. But we're not too worried about getting it real salty on the inside.
That's what the sauce is for on the finish, for the main flavor.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so before we start cutting into these, I just want to show you guys, look at the marbling on that beef short rib there. Boneless. This is basically a ribeye. I mean, just a small piece.
But you can't get much better marbling than that, especially for store-bought.
So the way we're going to do this is kind of a Japanese style. We're just going to thinly slice it here and then grill it, real short grill times, serve with a little bit of salt. It's going to be good. And slice these up nice and thin here. The first one's always kind of a wash.
Does it matter on thickness, or how thin do you want them?
It's kind of up to you, really. I would just do whatever you want, I guess. If you want it to be a little pink in the middle still, you probably want to. This right here, I'm going about just under ½ an inch. You just char up the outsides and enjoy the flavor. Okay, so I would say about 3 minutes on this side, just kind of char it a little bit. Get a good little bit of charring. And we'll flip it over. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Get them all flipped over, we'll do the same thing, and then we're going to actually raise them a bit. And then we'll go over here, and I'll show you our preparation method for the steak. So we've got them all thinly sliced, and then we're just going to kind of flatten them out here. Just give them a little bit of seasoning. Do that before you grill, and that way it has time to marry the flavor. The salt will get into the meat, and it'll just be better. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the onions and the mushrooms on here. I'm not going to have enough room to do them all at once. So I'm just going to do the mushroom skewers. Get them kind of going. So we're going to put this peanut sauce, mostly it's for the chicken, but we decided to go ahead and try it on the mushrooms and the onions. We're going to go ahead and give this a little glaze here. Get that nice and... Should we just try it on all of them, or should we just do a couple?
Yeah, let's do them all.
Just in case it's not good, then we'll have to eat them all this way.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's going to be good. We already know this Thai peanut stuff goes good on just about anything.
It's got that spicy, sweet, at the same time flavor, so can't really beat that. It's a good nutty texture, which actually goes quite well with poultry and mushrooms. Beautiful.
A little glaze goes a long way. All glazed up. We're going to close this a little longer. Chicken's been on this other side here for about 2.5 minutes. We're going to close it up, let it cook a little longer before we move it to the top.
What kind of little side project you got going on over here?
We're going to feature this in a future video. Now, it's not the prettiest thing ever, but it's going to be pretty cool. Actually, I'll show you guys real quick here before I get into the dirty of it. So what we did is we took apart an old grill and we cut the whole out of it, just a work table I had laying around, to fit this in here, like that. And now what we're going to do with that is we're going to go ahead and get another grate that makes it a little bit finer, nothing can fall through it, and then we're going to do Korean barbecue. So stay tuned for that. Okay, chicken is properly charred. We're going to go ahead and throw it on the top here. It'll continue its cooking process up there. As you can see, there's still a little bit of blood coming out. So I would say it's been on there a total of about 7 minutes, 3.5 minutes per side. It's going to be another 10, moving it up here in this lower heat. So we're going to go ahead and flip these guys. Get our glaze on both sides. And while we're at it, we're going to throw our onion sticks down. Well, not throw them, but you get it. And then give that a good glaze too.
Oh, it just looks amazing.
You don't want to go too thick on here. There's a little sweetness to the sauce, and when you start grilling over an open fire or charcoal especially, you can really burn sugar. Sugar burns easily, so just be wary. That's why I don't like to do the chicken with this sauce on first. I like to grill it and then go ahead and add whatever for the last 5 to 10 minutes.
But seeing as vegetables don't take very long, we just go ahead and do it as we go here.
Oh yeah, we can always move them to the side too, and we don't have to worry about them being undercooked.
Absolutely.
That's the secret there. Just kind of slapping it on here.
And soon enough, those will be ready to move to the top rack with our asparagus.
Oh yeah.
It's looking mighty fine.
A little bit more. These thick ones, they'll really need extra. Yeah. Looking good. we're going to flip these onions here. Flip. These guys do not take long.
No sirree, Bob.
This one's going to be a troublesome guy. Not pretty, but it flipped. We're going to go ahead and take these skewers. We're going to move them off to the side. They'll just kind of finish their cooking process off the heat. We got the charcoal is right here is the edge of the charcoal. So that'll just allow them to stop burning basically and keep cooking. So while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and char this. These are kind of the awkward pieces of the beef short rib. So we'll just char these up and treat them as little mini roasts. We pre-season them, steak seasoning. I like to do it this way. I mean, if you want a good cheap steak, you get some beef short rib on sale. It's not the traditional, boneless mind you, but it's not the traditional size and shape of a steak, but it eats the same. Go ahead and bring this rack up. That way we can char them good here. And we'll drop the lid, if I can do it.
Again with them. Just go.
Give the onions glaze on the other side here. Just a quick slap.
Slap of the base.
Slap of the base. And then what we're going to do, maybe hit these guys a little bit more. Now, we are going to stack the onions to keep them nice and juicy so they don't dry out. If I can. These guys, I don't know, these might be...
Those are the tricky ones.
They're really snackers here. Let's see if I can't save them. Hey, look at that.
How you savor the flavor.
Mission successful. Okay, we're going to check the chicken here. I think it's probably ready for glaze. Looking at about 150. I don't know if you can see it, just over. So for the last 5 minutes or so, we're just going to take them down here, glaze them up, and let that glaze just kind of cook on there nicely. We're just going to apply it generously here, because a lot of it will cook off. Really get into that end too. That's good. Try not to hit our beef short ribs there.
And those will have plenty of flavor on them, or by themselves.
Yeah, you don't want to. I don't want to ruin a good steak with the sauce. I think that's sacrilege.
But if you get a nice pairing, like the poultry and the...
Now you can see it's smoking up. So this will really, it'll burn easily. So what you're going to want to do is drop your coals a little bit here. I'm going to flip them and get the other side. And then probably give them just 3 more minutes or so.
That's that nice crispy golden skin there.
We'll pull them off. Yeah, look at that. That smoke, that's just going to add a little bit of smoky, delicious flavor at the end.
You can't beat that.
I don't know if you guys at home are as hungry as we are watching this, but we haven't eaten for most of the day, and this is really hard to watch. I'm just going to go ahead and throw the rest of it on here just to keep them nice and moist. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and prod our asparagus. Make sure it's still alive. Alright, we'll go ahead and give those a couple more minutes and then we'll pull them off. And take the chicken off. It's been a couple minutes here, and this glaze coat, it's a little charred on the bottom, so it's the perfect time. And now, at home, I would recommend giving it the test. We're looking for 160, 165, you want to be safe. That's at about 175, so these are good to go. I'm going to take them off. that. Oh.
They smell absolutely amazing. Still sizzling on the plate.
Alright, we'll go ahead and get the rest of the stuff off here. The veggies, I mean. A little char on those are nice and tender. The last couple I don't trust myself, especially. So I'm going to grab the skewers here. And the tricky part is going to be the mushrooms, the onions here. So if I can get it all in one scoop, I'm going to use a little cheater bar here. Alright, go ahead and just tuck her right there.
Tack up.
And there's our sides. We can go ahead and try the mushroom skewers. We'll just go ahead and use this one. The less pretty of them all. So let's start with that onion there. And this again has the Thai peanut sauce, is that?
Yeah. Still got a nice crunch to the onion there.
Oh yeah. Well, that is really good on there. The onion is just a little charred, softened up by the grilling, but it still has that crunch, you know, so you're not killing all the nutrients or whatever. So let's go ahead and try this mushroom. See that? The charred, it's got that peanut sauce on there, a little spicy, but not bad at all. It's not going to make your eyes water. Oh, that is good.
Cool. Yeah, like you were saying, that peanut texture there is really nice. A little bit of a heat, but nothing too terribly spicy. Look at that bad boy. It's nice and glazed. And the mushrooms are still so juicy. Yeah, beautiful. Just cooked to perfection.
That is very good.
The great thing about slow cooking like this is you still have all the juices in there.
Just about time for the dessert course. Thinly sliced beef short ribs, well marbled, fine grate. This is a barbecue grade grate. We'll go ahead and spray it here. It's non-stick. And then we're just going to throw a few pieces on here. Now the rule, if you're doing it this way, the way we like to do it, is only throw on as much as you can eat at one time. So not very long on one side. We're going to leave that a little bit longer there. We want it to get nice and crispy.
You can actually see it start to cook through there on the sides, though.
Yep. You'll see it on the side. It'll kind of... This guy looks pretty good here. Just got to flip if I can. Oh, yeah.
And that's what this side project is for over here, so we actually have a table we can sit around and do this.
Yeah.
Sneak peek.
So, and, you know, it's really nice if you have a smaller confined space or longer sticks, because it does get pretty hot, so just be careful with that. But go ahead and get these other ones flipped over here. Give them just a few minutes or a few seconds. 40 seconds on each side, minute on each side. It's more than enough.
That nice crispy outer char there.
Okay, so let's look at this here. It's looking pretty good on each side there. Oh yeah. So we're going to go ahead and just pull these off. I don't really like to come very prepared, so we don't have enough plates for everything. But, you know, uncooked is this. Now let's enjoy. It's going to be really hot, so I would recommend giving it about 30 seconds to cool down. can see that steam coming off of here.
This looks beautiful though.
But I'm a glutton for punishment, so let's see how this tastes. Very good.
Alright. Oh. That's really good.
This is a nice fatty piece right here. Oh man. I'd have been so sad if I had ground.
You couldn't ask for any more perfect day to be doing this. Yeah. Nice marble pieces.
First one, yeah.
Nice and clean.
I got a milk in it first. There you go.
Nice.
Oh. Is that a Winston I see? Winston, what are you doing?
You don't know what the good life is. This is the good life.
Alright guys, in conclusion, I hope you enjoyed watching this video of us kind of just grilling and chilling. Right now we're just kind of having fun, grilling. You can maybe learn something, probably not. In the future we will do full recipe videos and food reviews of local restaurants, regional restaurants, and maybe some projects.
A couple how-tos.
Yeah, so just tell us what you think in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a like. If not, you know what to do. And then until the next one, have a good one. Okay, we left it in there. Oh,